Hey everyone, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. Today's gonna be my episode 26 for Raw recap for 519. This recap, or the way the actual show actually started off, was a recap of the following Monday night, the aftermath of what happened with Punk, Seth. You had Jay, you had Sammy, you had Punk there. So pretty much just showing you the recap of what built up to that. Um, there's a lot of Saturday night main event is happening, so a lot of this storyline was leading into this Saturday. But you did have that right after that segment or recap. You did have Logan Paul start the night off, and again, that song plays. I'm humble. Oh God, I can't stand that song. Um, again, Logan Paul as a person can't stand. Logan Paul as a YouTuber can't stand. As a wrestler, Logan Paul is actually an amazing wrestler. He has a lot of heat on him right now. I think it has a lot to do with how people hate him outside of WWE. And I personally don't like Logan Paul, to be honest with you. He keeps getting opportunities over other individuals. So hopefully after this time around, he kind of takes a back seat and does something else. But again, Logan Paul pretty much starts the night off. You have him going on a rant that he's going to beat Jey Uso, that Jey Uso has a glass jaw. The crowd starts yelling at one point, um, like no yeet, or they keep saying yeet after every time Logan Paul says something. He says no yeet, yeet, no yeet, yeet, no yeet, yeet. So it's kind of going back to how Jimmy was saying no yeet and Jay was saying yeet. So the crowd was doing that to him, kind of shut him up for a while. But then he did go into that how he's going to knock Jay out, how he's going to be your next um, the WWE World Champion, and then Gunther music hits. Again, I said I'm not a Gunther fan, but I would love to see Gunther beat the shit out of Logan Paul, just chop the shit out of him. Um, the fan was loving Gunther. Gunther's getting put back into the title picture already. Um, so again, you have Gunther pretty much telling Logan Paul, like, I don't care what happens, I'm getting my revenge on Jey Uso. If you cause that from not happening, I'm coming after you. Your title reign will be short. Pretty much putting Logan Paul on notice, whether you win or not. I'm getting my title back. I don't see Jay losing to either one of these guys, to be honest with you. I think it might be Seth down the line. I don't see Gunther winning. I don't see, Logan Paul winning unless there's like a crazy mistake or a crazy um, mishap with an injury or something. Um, but pretty much from there, you just have Gunther pretty much telling Logan Paul, like, I'm going to whoop your ass if you stop me from beating Jay and taking my title back. Gunther kind of walks out of the ring there. Um, then Logan actually got attacked by Jay, got super kicked there. So that's kind of how that segment ended. You did have a lot going on today. Not a lot of wrestling, to be honest. I feel like it was a lot of stories building up for the next pay per views and Saturday Night Main Event. Um, you did have one match there with Penta and AJ Styles versus the Judgment Days, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. AJ Styles, if I'm not mistaken, was home, so the crowd was definitely feeling him. Him and Penta actually had matching ring gear, red and white. Penta, like I always said, has one of the best entrances there. Not a fan of his red gear, but it was nice to see the two of them kind of match to show that they were on the same team. Um, but in all, AJ Styles is doing some stuff that a guy his age probably should stay away from, doing flips, doing moonsaults, doing all that kind of stuff. But it was nice to see AJ Styles go into his bag and still, hey, I can still do this. I can still hang. So that was pretty nice to see. In all, it was a pretty decent match. You did have Carlito on the outside, Dom again. Dom and Raquel actually weren't there again. Excuse me. So Dom and Raquel weren't there. So it's again, the commentary did say, "Hey, where's Dom at? He's not out here." So it is being brought up that Dom is kind of keeping his distance from Finn Balor right now. I actually thought Finn would be the one to kind of turn on them, but it looks like Dom is kind of breaking away, if anything. Um, long story short, though, is a good match between the two of them. JD McDonough, man, that guy can sell his ass off. I feel like I haven't seen a lot from him, to be honest with you. But the last couple of weeks since he's been back from his injury, he's doing a great job selling, doing a great job doing moves. So JD, don't know what the plans are for you, man, but I hope you get an opportunity, even if it's just a mid card title or again tag team with Finn or someone else. But they're definitely using you right now, man. So keep it up. But long story short, Judgment Day does take the win there. So a lot of people online were saying that Finn Balor finally won because Finn has been taking a bunch of L's lately. But they did get the help from El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, with that metal plate, pretty much headbutted Penta from the back. Penta was knocked out. They ended up taking that easy win there. Judgment Day acted like they didn't even know that, Chad was there, and they said pretty much whatever, we won it. It is what it is. So they took that win there. You did have, again, a bunch of segments today. I will say that I feel like it was more story driven, story driven today than anything else. You did have a segment with Jay in the back after he super kicked Logan Paul, and Paul pretty much just goes in there and saying facts again, kind of like mirroring off of what, you know, Logan Paul was saying, hey, facts, you're the champion right now. Facts, you are going to lose that title. Facts, it's going to be Seth Rollins that takes it from you. So almost like he was doing that, it's not a prediction or whatever. So, or no, spoiler, but he just said facts pretty much. Um, and they're pretty much saying that Braun is going hunting. Braun is going to be taking Jay out, pretty much weakening Jay. So when he gets to Logan or Gunther, that he's just trying to weaken him to make sure that when he gets to Seth, that he's not at 100%. Um, you did have, Io Sky having a segment there, and before Io could finish, what she was about to say from the interview, you had Becky was like pretty much like, "Hey, I'm coming for you. You and I have never wrestled before, and we're gonna run this here." To be honest with you, I thought that that Money in the Bank qualifier that was going to be Becky Lynch who won, but to be honest with you, it was so that match it was Becky Lynch, Roxana Perez, and Natalia. Or Natty, depending on which persona she's using day to day. But you did have that match. It was actually a pretty good match. I didn't expect Becky to win because it's kind of weird how she kind of jumped off. People were saying, "Oh yeah, she's got this in the bag." I was reading online or watching online. Hey, she's got this in the bag. They're gonna push her, and that wasn't the case. They actually had a good match, but it is a triple threat match, so no disqualifications. Lyra actually jumps in and stops Becky from winning. Um, Becky kind of knocks Lyra off, goes back in there, and then pulls Becky underneath the ring, and they start brawling outside in the aisleway or the alleyway. And Roxanne Perez, first day on Raw, she did sign. I was saying that they got to put her on one of these main rosters. They put her on Raw, and first day up, boom, she won her Money in the Bank qualifier. So, Roxanne, I appreciate your work there. Like I said, you were doing great selling, showing people what you got, and that was actually a great match there. Excuse me. And in all, it was just really good match for that qualifier. I didn't expect Roxanne to win, Perez to win. I thought it was going to be one of the other girls, Becky or even Natalia, because Natalia puts on good matches. They haven't pushed Natalia lately, but she does put on good matches. She's always elevates the person she's working with. She's a lot older, so not sure if they're trying to work with her. But Natalia did great. That match was all around great. Nice run in, but again, no disqualifications for a triple threat. So Roxanne Perez takes that one, and she's going to be in the Money in the Bank. She's going to be one of the 6 women, so that's going to be pretty cool to see. Um, did have a match there with Sheamus versus Waller. Sheamus was pretty much just beating the shit out of Waller, kind of getting Theory's get back, if anything, because Theory was like, it's your turn this time. And he was like, nah, man, a bunch of times, like, nah, man, I don't want none of this. I don't want none of this. And, Theory kind of stopped him and goes, nah, man, we don't quit. So get back in there. And then Sheamus just either, I forgot what it's called, but kind of chops his chest or whatever from outside the ring and just beat down Waller. Another win there. Looks like, and then Theory was just laughing on the outside. So it looks like A-Town Down Under is going to break up. Not sure whether they're going to make it official, if they're going to have a pay-per-view match or just a match on Raw. But that team is breaking apart. We'll see how it plays out, guys. Honestly, a lot of people are over them. Looks like Theory's kind of turning face, to be honest with you. So he might get another push on a singles title. He did the U.S. title before. Maybe he'll go after Dom for the IC, but we'll see. Theory looked like he's turning face, guys, and Waller's going to be the bad guy in this scenario. So let's see how it plays out. I know the old regime used to be real big on Theory, Right now, like I said before, they were kind of falling off, but it looks like they're going to end up pushing him. So we'll see, guys. Um, so you did have Seth confront Logan and pretty much told Logan the same thing. Um, Whoever wins the title, he said, I'm gonna weaken him for you, but just to know that when you win, you have Gunther. Whether you make it past Gunther or not, you got me. So either way, your title reign will be short. Pretty much putting Logan Paul on notice. Like, I'm gonna weaken him for you, but know that if you don't beat Gunther, I'm coming for you. And then again, he kind of shook. Paul kind of got into Jay's head, and then you had Seth get into Logan's head, and then Seth did approach Gunther later on and kind of put Gunther on notice, telling him the same thing, like, "Yo, man, whatever happens with Logan and Jay, and then you the following week, just know that I'm coming for that title regardless, and we could either work together or you could be like against me." And Gunther was pretty much like, "I ain't scared of you. If I win that title, you got next, then so be it. Like, I'm not running from you." And again, I don't like Gunther, but it looks like they're turning Gunther face, even though maybe they just need to make more good, more faces or more good guys there. But it looks like Gunther's going to be turning face. You got Logan, heel, bad guy. Seth, Braun, bad guy. So Gunther makes sense, even though Gunther's going to be the bad guy versus Jay when they wrestle. But you know what I mean. But pretty much Gunther was like, "I ain't scared. Do what you gotta do." Um, Jay does speak to Sammy in the back during their segment. Like I mentioned, there was just a lot of segments, guys. So Jay does speak to Sammy in the back, and he does say that, "Hey man, no matter what happens, I got your back. So don't worry about it. I got your back." So he just lets him know that their match against Braun, that no matter what happens, he's going to be out there. I expected Sammy to be out there, but that wasn't the case. But before we get to that match, we do have another Money in the Bank qualifiers for the women's side: Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark, and Kyrie Sane. Now, we haven't seen Kyrie in a while. I believe she was injured. Um, she's got her old pirate gimmick again, so I think Damage Control is just done. They're not really doing nothing with that. Um, but Zoe comes out, Rhea Ripley comes out. Decent match, to be honest with you. But I'm sure everybody's seen it. Zoe Starks looks like she blew out her knee or tore her leg or popped whatever ACL. I don't know what it was, but it looks like she got really injured. You actually heard her screaming. At first, I thought it was part of the match, but when you saw the rest, kind of like not the rest, but like the medical staff just pick her up and like rushed her to the back. Definitely did not expect that. Um, Apparently, what they're saying online, they changed the finish, so it sounded, from what I'm hearing, it was that Kyrie Zane or Sane was supposed to be the one that wins, which I'm actually surprised because Rhea's really hot right now. So why wouldn't you continue to use her, even if she doesn't cash in or doesn't have a successful cash in? Why not continue to use Rhea against Io Sky? But again, Zoe Starks, I hope you get better. Hope I don't like to see anybody get hurt. To be honest with you, I heard her scream, but when I was watching it on Netflix, they didn't replay the angle, at least for me. And actually, from what I saw online, I'm glad they didn't, because her knee was like in one spot and the rest of her body was somewhere else. Like, it was completely twisted. So again, hopefully you're okay. Don't like to see anybody get injured. Hopefully they don't cut you after this injury. To be honest with you, and I don't mean this to be mean, I'm surprised they didn't cut her with Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler. But again, I know you're injured at the moment. Hopefully you get better, and hopefully this is just a stepping stone and build yourself back up and get out there and do what you got to do. Enjoy your sport, enjoy your craft, and again, hopefully you're okay. But again, Rhea Ripley wins that. They ended up going from a three-way to a two-way at the end, a one-on-one, and Rhea was just ragdolling Kyrie Zane, to be honest with you. She probably has Kyrie by like maybe 50, 60 pounds, and I don't mean that to be rude. Um, Rhea Ripley is a much bigger girl. I think she's like 5'10" or 6 feet, and Kyrie Zane's maybe like 5 feet something. And you can definitely tell by the women's build, Rhea Ripley's got her by some weight. So again, she was just beating her down when it was her turn one on one. Again, we don't know what the actual finish was going to be, but it did turn out. So you do have, again, Roxanne Perez. You have Rhea Ripley, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Alexa Bliss who won on SmackDown. So you have those three in there now. So if I'm not mistaken, three more qualifying matches. But again, Zoe Starks, hopefully you're okay and you can come back stronger. Um, Little bit, another segment, like I mentioned, this was like very segment heavy. I feel like there was more segments than matches, but That's what they wanted to do today. Finn Balor, I did mention he had Roxana Perez in the back in one of the segments last week, or a walking by segment, and he was talking to her. He finally introduced Roxana Perez to the Judgment Day. And at first, everybody was like, man, what's she doing here? Especially Raquel. What's she doing here, man? She don't belong in the clubhouse. And he's like, no, I just wanted to introduce her. She's not part of Judgment Day. We just need some help. She goes like, me and JD, we got Carlito. Dom, you got me, JD, Carlito, but Liv, Raquel, y'all don't have nobody. So now I got somebody for you. Boom. Y'all got backup. And we don't need you. I'm gonna tell Liv and do what you gotta do. But she was like, but I got presents for y'all. And she goes, hey, I'm not trying to be part of the team. I just want to help. I'm trying to get my footing in here. It's my first day. I want to make sure I can put a good impression. I just want my first match. I want to make it good impression on y'all. So I got gifts. She gives Dom a box, a clothing box, mind you, like a Christmas clothing box full of like nuggets. So boom, won his heart over. Gave Carlito a bag of apples. And when he went to pull it out and bite it, Raquel kind of like pushed it out, like, get out of here. Thank you, but get out of here. And Dom kind of gave her a look. Roxanne gave like, oh, thank you. I got the nuggets. And Raquel goes, I'm telling Liv. And Finn goes, I hope you do. I can't wait. So again, this is feeding into Finn's plan. Don't know if Finn's gonna make his own Judgment Day, because technically it could be him, JD, break off, and Roxana Perez. The three of them, boom, got their own faction. Like I mentioned before, it'd be kind of cool to see, kind of like a NWO white and black versus red and black Wolfpack there. Kind of be the same thing. Like I did mention, Finn Balor was wearing different clothes the other day. He was wearing black and yellow, and even his banner when he came out was like a black and blue. So technically, he can be another Judgment Day and just have his own people with him. But we'll see how that, like, have a civil war, almost like the Bloodline did. See how that plays out. But Finn is definitely making the move. Like I mentioned, slowly but surely, Finn is making the move. About time, honestly. Can't wait to see what happens when Liv does come back, or maybe she might just call and you see like Dom kind of scared and shook. But it looks like Dom might have another girl. Don't know if he's gonna use that to break them up, or cause issues in the Judgment Day. But for sure, Dom looked like he had his eye on Roxana Perez there, and she kind of gave him that eye back. We'll see how it plays out, guys. Honestly, Dom is really hot right now. I think he's one of the hottest ones that is in the Judgment Day. Again, Carlito's just comedic relief. Raquel and Liv are kind of like, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Like they're hot, they're not hot. Finn Balor has been on a losing streak forever. Roxanne is actually really hot right now because she did just win her Money in the Bank qualifier. So we'll see how it plays out. Um, Braun Breaker and Jey Uso, non-title match. But again, this is just a match for Braun to just go hunting, like Paul Heyman said, do some damage. He's on a mission to hurt Jey and make sure Jey's not 100% for when he faces Seth Rollins in a couple weeks. Because again, you have Logan, you have Gunther, and then Seth wants to fight him or wrestle him. I will say though, Jey came out yeeting with the fans again. I do like that. Yet Jey comes out, and it's really nice to see that he's at the top and he grabs a little kid and he kind of yeets with the kids, kind of celebrates with the kids up there. It's actually really nice to see for me because, like I said, me being someone who always sat higher up when I did go, it's nice to see that he's interacting with the people that are up top and not just the people that are at the bottom that are at ringside. Most people just, shake their hands, do autographs sometimes, take a picture. But it's nice to see that he's doing that with the kids. That's definitely making the kids' day, probably year. Some of these kids idolize the wrestler, so it's nice to see Jey Uso showing other kids that attention and other fans that attention, other than just the ones that are at the bottom at ringside. This match did come out. Braun Breaker did come in here. Jey came out first. Braun Breaker came out second, and came out with, I think, a new music, or if not or new intro, if I'm not mistaken. Looks sinister as hell walking out. Paul Heyman behind him, kind of staring at him again. Um, I will say that this match was again just Braun Breaker just beating down on Jey. Jey did look good in this match. A lot stronger than he has in the previous matches. Was kind of nice because I feel like they've been kind of like giving Jey Uso the Cody Rhodes treatment, just letting him get beat up by a lot of the heels. Um, this one was still the case, but Jey did look good in this match. Braun Breaker and him were just going back and forth, back and forth. Braun takes his singlet, straps down, I guess. Yeah, singlet straps down. And he goes for the spear. And Jay catches him with a super kick. And Braun Breaker sold the hell out of that super kick. He did like a 360 boom and landed on the mat. So really nice to see. Great sell. Great match between the two of them. They do have great chemistry. There was a little botch there, to be honest with you. They went for the Samoan drop, and he tossed Braun in the air, and he looked really awkward, and then he fell not flat on his back, but on his side of his back. So he could have gotten injured there. To be honest with you, it's just really crazy how this match played out. So Seth was getting the better of Braun. I'm sorry, Jey Uso was getting the better of Braun towards that match, towards the end of that match. And then they're outside. You know, he's kind of chasing Paul Heyman because Paul did grab Jay's leg, so Jay couldn't get the win there. And Paul Heyman actually looked like he was about to try to fight Jay or defend himself against Jay. So he took his jacket off. And who's there? Seth freaking Rollins from the back. Disqualification. So another DQ. So 2 weeks in a row, Jey Uso wins the match. Actually, he lost to Seth Rollins technically the last time they wrestled. So Jay has an L versus Seth, but it was a DQ. And this week, another damn DQ, but Jay wins because he was attacked. Tired of the DQs. Let's just have a clean match, guys. I know we're going to have damn run ins, but let Jay look successful. Let Jay look strong. Like, either beat him or let him look strong. Like, continuing for him. He even looked this upset after everything. So you did have he was being attacked. You had Sammy and you had CM Punk come in, and they were kind of having a face off. They went at each other for a little bit. They kind of chased them off, and you see Seth running out, Braun running out. Don't remember where I saw Paul Heyman. He might have just walked away. But you did have Jay in the ring at the end of the night, kind of looking over into the stands and looking at the four of them kind of chase each other out. He looked frustrated. In my opinion, Jay looked frustrated. 2 weeks in a row, the match ends in a damn DQ. Like, how is he supposed to have a successful title reign or a title run if you don't make the man look strong? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Um, that's just my opinion. I want to see Jay be successful. Jay's been there for over 15 years, so he deserves a shot. But give the man a shot. Let him do what you did, what you put the title on him to do. Yes, Seth Rollins, I feel like is going to be the one to take the title from him. But if it's not now, why continue to make Jay look weak when he's wrestling that group or any heel? Like, that's just my opinion. Again, I've said this before, and someone kind of told me, like, no, that's not the case. I don't feel that. That's my opinion. But that's your opinion, too. You guys feel like, like I said, Jay looked strong to me in this match, better than he did in the last match. But if you want him to be a successful champion and do his thing and build on his legacy and build on his resume, not every match can end in a damn DQ. Like, seriously, guys, it cannot end in a DQ every week. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But I digress. Like I mentioned, Jay was looking over at the fans. He looked annoyed, pissed off, in my opinion. Um, you do see Jay kind of like I think he was standing on the ropes, turned around out of nowhere. Once again, gets knocked out by Logan Paul. Again. This is what I'm talking about. Yes, he won the match as a DQ. But then you make your champion look weak 5 seconds after he wins the match. Like, guys, what are y'all doing? Yes, I see Jay beating Logan Paul this weekend on Saturday Night Main Event. But it cannot end in another damn DQ. Stop the DQs. Like, 2 weeks in a row, you have your champion winning for a DQ, losing as a DQ. Stop the DQs. Like, damn, 2 weeks in a row. You're not helping this guy. You're not showing this guy strength. You're not showing him building, not building on Jay, nothing. Again, my opinion. Y'all might think differently. But I feel like you're giving him the same treatment y'all gave Cody. Cody had to build himself up and win matches by any means necessary. But every week, Cody was getting beat to shit. You're doing the same thing to Jay. Like, yes, he's a babyface. I get that. I understand that. But damn, let's play a different tune. Let's play a different note. Let's look at a different book or something. Let's do something different, guys. Like, WWE, yes, I'm happy you finally put the strap on Jay. He deserves it. But let's do something else. Let him go into that match against Logan Paul, beat the shit out of Logan Paul, successful, no run-ins, just let him beat Logan. And then at the end, you have Gunther come out and they face to face, ready for the next time they wrestle. Like, let's call it a day. Let's stop doing the DQs. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. To be honest with you, as many segments as we had, all the DQs, I feel like, again, they're overlooking Jey Uso. Like, I know a lot of people aren't feeling him, but he's your champion. How are you making the other matches with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn and CM Punk more important than your champion? Doesn't make sense. You already have Jay wrestling Logan, and then you announce the match with John Cena versus R-Truth. Who's going to be the main event? It should be Jay versus Logan since they're going for the title. But from what I've seen, they're going to have Jay probably go first and then have John Cena versus Truth. Or you're going to have Cena and Truth first, Jay going to be in like the middle of the card with Logan, and then you're going to have CM Punk, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins for the main event. Again, Jay is your champion. He should be main eventing. It's called Saturday Night Main Event. The man's nickname is Main Event Jey Uso. Guys, I mean, how hard is that shit? Seriously. Come on. How hard is that? He didn't even main event WrestleMania. The man didn't main event WrestleMania. Can y'all explain that to me? Again, why isn't he main eventing? You gave him the moniker, the nickname, Main Event Jey Uso. Saturday Night Main Event. No brainer. Put the man in the main event with Logan Paul. Seriously. Easy. Done. New damn shirt. Saturday Night Main Event Jey Uso. Holy shit. New shirt. Guys, it's not that damn hard. Again, I like Jay as a champion, but don't beat the man down every week and have a DQ or a run-in. It's boring. Tired of seeing it already. It's only been, a couple weeks of him being a champion. Let's change the story, you know? Let's not do the same thing that y'all did with Cody Rhodes. Let's do something else. Either let Jay win or let Jay lose. But he don't got to get beat down every week. Yes, he's got the target on his back. I get it. But guys, different story, please. Different story. Again, guys, sorry for that rant towards the end, but Popcorn Review Podcast. Thanks for watching.